Got a special night in store tonight. Actually, we need that Chrome turned up all the way, but we do need to turn down Pretzel Rocks because we've got a fun night in store. We've got the AMD Keynote in less than 15 minutes, 11 minutes up. So I'm trying to get stuff situated. Had a LAN party last night, so we had to divert some of our hardware to the better cause of gaming for hours and hours and hours, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong, I loved the LAN party. It was a good time. Special shout out to Gallinoth for hosting. But I ate too much food. I got sick, which really sucks, because I was pumped to game. I was ready to rock and roll. But alright, let's get this cracking. YouTube. AMD Keynote Computex 2019. There we go, Lisa Sears Keynote. Alright, it is not live. It sounds like we do have some music. Yep, we got some Keynote music. We're going to turn down the Keynote music for now. But let's go ahead and pop open that Chrome window. That way we can get our eyes peeled, ready to rock. Theater mode. Oh, they turned off live chat. That's funny. Rock and roll. Alright, cool. Alright, so we got the Keynote ready to rock. We got about 8-9 minutes to go. We are going to post all this to our Twitters and stuff. We're logging in. We're going to post it. AMD Ryzen Keynote from Computex. Right on. Alright, well, we're rocked and primed. We're ready to go. So, appreciate all y'all hopping on stream tonight. I don't usually stream on Sundays. This is new. This is new territory. But I'm super stoked. If you're new to the channel, I am a hardware reviewer with Tom's Hardware, and I actually cover AMD stuff. Some might say I'm an AMD fanboy. A little bit. Hold on. This one's way up here. Where is that? Oh, and there's my Threadripper. So there we go. We got lots of stuff. Lots of AMD stuff in this household. Just a little bit too much. I love Ryzen. I was kind of put here. Fate put me here. Because back in like 2015, 2016. Hey, Ghost, what's going on, man? Back in 2016, you know, no one liked AMD, right? No one liked the bulldozer architecture. No one liked the pile driver. Not a lot of people were hyped about the APU revolution, and it was just a rough time. So at that time, Tom's Hardware put a lot of people onto the Intel coverage, covering their motherboards, their H150s, H170s, all of their other different Intel stuff. And they kind of shoved me into the AMD realm and kind of said, all right, good luck, have fun, GLHF. And I was like, all right, I can do that. So I've been covering AMD products for quite a while. Super excited about what's in store. This window's almost too big. Actually, we'll do this. We're just gonna go ahead and go to Chrome scene. Maximize that. There we go. That way I don't have to keep dodging my head back and forth. That was only slightly dumb. But yeah, so I've been covering AMD products for quite some time. I am not paid by AMD by any means. I'm not paid by any of these vendors to state my own opinions. However, I do like AMD, and I can give you several of those reasons throughout the show tonight. I've been covering them for several years, probably 4 or 5 years now. So I've gotten some experience with them. I know quite a few people in the industry, and really excited. And I'm also sad. There's rumors that they're not going to be doing X399 anymore. And that kind of upsets me because I love Threadripper. Threadripper, I believe, is like the true, you know, next phase in high-end desktops. And it would really make me sad if they decide to abandon, you know, the Threadripper platform, X399. I really hope that they keep it going. And I've got some ideas on how they can do it. So AMD, if you're listening to my stream and you like the cut of my jib, feel free to hire me on as a consultant or as a project manager. But we're gonna have a good stream tonight, guys. I hope y'all are ready. We got about 4 minutes until the keynote starts. If you're not aware, the keynote is at Computex 2019. That's out in Taipei, which is conveniently like 12 or 13 hours ahead of us. So the sun's up over there right now. They're in tomorrow. They're in the future. And for us lowly Americans, you know, we gotta stay up past our bedtimes. I think they were even posting, you know, some people out in the UK, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning for them, man. That's rough. I'm hoping next year I can go to CES. CES 20 at CES. What? This isn't the right stream. Wow. I was like, what? This isn't CES. This is not the Consumer Electronics Show. This is Computex. Thanks for keeping me honest, folks. Dr. Lisa Sue. There's no music. That's alright. Chat is disabled in the live stream. That's a shame. It's always fun to see all the hype, all the fanboys typing, and all the haters too. I'm kind of curious how the Intel crowd's going to take tonight. I really think so. Intel released or announced today their 9900KS, which is their special binning of their 9900, you know, high-end processor. And that's such a cop-out, you know. If you're binning these chips and you're just waiting to put out this special SKU, I mean, give it to the customers, man. They want it. They don't need to wait for somebody to do some special announcement. Give the industry what they want. I know there's a bunch of politics and there's a bunch of card games going on. But like at some point, your chips need to be on the table. The industry needs to know what you've got. so that we can build cool stuff with it. It's kind of like with NVIDIA doing their NVIDIA Super teasers. I think we'll learn more about that either tomorrow, our time. We'll definitely hear more about it. I know I watched a video from Gamers Nexus today where they talked about, you know, what the Super meant. That i5 SKU without integrated graphics, no joke. That's such a ripoff. And they didn't change the price on it either, Ghost. I don't get that. But anyways, NVIDIA Super supposedly is going to be just a faster rated memory interface on their 2000 series RTX line, which I don't know how much memory bandwidth is going to help them out, but whatever. But there's also there's rumor that they're going to be refreshing the 2000 series, which it released 6 months ago, right? Yep, you want to buy a Ryzen 7, here's another reason. Yep, you got it, dude. We are getting close to the top of the hour. You can get much more processor with the same money. We'll talk about this more during the stream. There's lots of leaks coming out now, and I don't have any credence to any of it. I haven't seen any of the numbers. But supposedly there's some benchmark data out on like the online databases where like their 6-core variant is beating the 2700X, and I thought I'd heard that that chip was like $100. So yeah, even prior generations are better than 9th gen i5. Yeah, the i5's gotten kind of stale. It's like a processor that has no real market for it. Which is sad, you know? I was a fan of i5s. I actually built an i5 a long time ago. Alright, we are at the top of the hour. This should start any moment. We will keep commenting on fun factoids throughout the night. If y'all have got questions regarding X570, if y'all have got questions about PCI Gen 4, if you've got, you know, just generic computer questions, you know, don't hesitate to ask. It's why I'm here. It's why I was put on this earth, to answer your questions and to talk computer stuff. They sell first gen Ryzen 5 at my Micro Center for $80. Nice. I actually, at my LAN party, I've been building out my LAN rig. I don't want to bring my big water-cooled behemoth to these LAN parties this next week and month. But it's running a Ryzen 1600X with a RX 580. So it's a super budget rig. I built it all out of spare components I had left. So I've been reinstalling software and stuff on there. I liked it. It works pretty good. It's got a bunch of RGB. It looks really cool. It's a 580 card, so I might borrow my GTX 1080 out of one of those two rigs. Just so I've got a little extra kick. But I don't even know if I can drive a 1080 properly with, you know, my 1600X. Alright, so the stream is still not live. It is 10 a.m. China Standard Time. What time is it in China? I'm curious. Oh, yep, it's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. I must be lonely. But appreciate all y'all hopping on the stream. This is a special edition Turk stream, Turk bench. We will be talking all sorts of Ryzen, AMD stuff. We can talk about Navi if you want. I'm not too privy on Navi. I've heard the rumors. I'm hopeful for the rumors. I honestly wish there would be a good, decently priced 2080 alternative. You know, the 2080 is what, $800 now? I was getting hype music going with Computex, man. But nope, not
Good morning,
yet.
ladies
There
and
it
gentlemen.
is.
Welcome to the 2019 Computex International Press Conference and CEO Keynote. It's great seeing friends from the press and the industry around the world here today.
See how the audio looks.
Each year, we see Computex spirit through its incredible
audio
and innovative events. This year, Computex has prepared to go above and beyond your expectations.
Hey, Ghost, should I go full screen?
Without further ado, please welcome Mr. Walter Ye, President and CEO of the organizer Tetra, to the stage to give us a remark and preview of Computex 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. 大家早安. Welcome to Computex 2019. I'm very happy to see so many people today.
So one thing I really hate about this being
Computex
in Taipei, I gotta crank down his volume. All of the presenters are from this part of the world, so it's very difficult to track their work, their speaking. Luckily, most of these CEOs and like sales execs are pretty good at English, but it's rough.
Tetra and TCA.
So I believe this is actually like the first kickoff.
Welcome our partner and co-organizer of Computex, Mr. Jiang Li of TCA.
All right, cool. So we're just going through talking with some of the big wigs of Computex and their organizing boards. We can talk about that if we need to. It's not that interesting. It'll take a while for him to get to the meat.
Taipei Computer Association and our chairman, T.H. Tong. I would like to express my welcome to all of you for coming this year Computex.
I do like how they have all their pictures and stuff backlit behind them. I think it's pretty slick. So Ghost, what's the one thing you really want to hear tonight in the AMD keynote?
Civilization era. And then, since 1960,
the big thing I'm wanting to hear is X399's fate. I hope they keep X399 in the high-end desktop for AMD. I really don't want them to kind of scoot that under the radar, because I think there's a lot of good opportunity with Gen 4 PCI behind Threadripper that will enable like supercomputer level performance in a desktop. If the frequencies hit it. That's one of the big things with Threadripper, is none of the processor frequencies really got high enough to be competitive. They got the core counts, but not the frequency. Yep. So I'm hoping, so if I watched the Gamers Nexus video, and supposedly they're not going to announce the dates. I think they're announcing all of that stuff at E3, which I don't get. Computex is like the computer expo, right? Why would you go and announce it at E3? I guess if you're a gamer. But we're going to hear a lot about 570, I think. We might hear some high-level stuff about 3000. So it's going to be interesting. The big question I've got with availability will be 7 nanometer. Because 7 nanometer is going to be on a new technology. I'm curious if it's going to pay out. I think the reason they are considering going away from Threadripper is because they see themselves delivering very similar thread counts at much higher TDPs on 3rd gen Ryzen. I don't think it's necessarily just about IPC and core counts and performance. I think it's also the connectivity. You have quad channel memory. You've got the breadth of PCI. That's why I want it.
And involving in order to maintain our position as a global innovator. Indeed, last October.
And again, if you guys got any questions on the stream, I don't know how many of you guys are watching, but if you've got questions, let me know. I'd love to answer them for you during the stream. And if y'all need me to like highlight or recap anything they just say, feel free to speak up. Let me know. There we go. There's no closed captioning, unfortunately.
Digital economy. Moreover, with the support of the Taiwan government, our exhibitors, and our visitors, we are able to stay one step
Cheers,
ahead
Ghost.
in the fast-changing world.
Hey, man.
Today,
Chasing tail or
is
chasing
more than
computers?
just a
I
sourcing
choose computers.
platform.
I'm married. I've got
It
kids.
is
I don't have to go
also
chase
the
tail anymore.
platform for building technology ecosystem.
I love how he pointed at the back, like, look at this
Which
high-tech system.
focuses
There's nothing
on
there.
themes like AI, IoT,
I'm curious if my Tom's
5G,
Hardware brethren are
blockchain,
there. I assume they are.
innovations and startups, gaming, and XR.
Hmm.
Unlike many
I love
other
these guys'
ICT
accents.
trade shows, Computex is expanding every
Is there a
year.
place to see total attendance number for this year?
Our new Nangang
You might be able to
exhibition
find it
hall
on the
2
Wikipedia
is
page.
providing new capacity with almost 10% growth.
Oh,
in
there's
booth
how many
numbers
exhibitors?
from last year.
1,600 exhibitors,
This year,
5,500
Computex
booths.
is hosting 1,685 exhibitors. Key exhibitors include AMD, Acer, ASUS,
Ooh, is IBM there?
Audi,
Heck yeah, IBM!
BenQ,
What up,
Delta,
IBM?
Intel, Micron, Microsoft, MSI, Nvidia, Honda, and many more.
It's right behind you,
One
dude.
of
Say
the
IBM.
highlights of Computex
Jackass.
is Innovex, which links together the entire supply chain and promotes a complete ecosystem for the startup community. If a startup is looking
So we got
to
Audi,
find
ARM,
investors,
Delta.
promote new ideas or
Why is
products,
Delta there?
or search
Computex.
for
That's weird.
partners and manufacturers. Innovex
So I work on a
is
couple
perfect
projects that
place
are based
to
out of
start.
the Eastern markets, and it's kind of sad how
Since its debut
copy
in
and paste some of
2016,
these industries can be.
Innovex
We do all this
more than
innovation
1,000
in,
in
Europe,
size,
Americas,
with
and then the
467
Chinese can just
global
copy and
startup
paste it and sell it in their own country, and people are just like okay with that. It's weird.
Innovex is the biggest startup platform in Asia.
Oh, there's visitors, 18,000.
Our startup become
18,000
tomorrow's
visitors.
success stories. We do things
With an asterisk. I don't know what the asterisk
We
means.
organize events such as
Man, how'd I know this was going to be going on? I would have
Innovex Forum,
started the stream a little later.
startup, and also pitch contacts and matchmaking events with VCs. To help our startup, other events at Computex also makes this
Yep.
exceptional.
They got
For
the
instance,
turnstiles
we will
installed
hear
this
from
year, I think,
great industry leaders
so they can get accurate counts.
keynotes, such as Dr. Lisa Su, AMD president.
I love how they
and CEO,
keep pushing the
Mr.
AMD.
Gregory
Like,
Bryant, Intel
hey, our show's super cool. We've got AMD here, guys. We're
Mr.
legit.
Nick Parker, Microsoft corporate vice president.
All right, we're gonna post this to Instagram
In
real quick.
addition, you can attend many forums, including Computex Forum, Innovex Forum, and Taipei 5G Summit.
Oh, someone posted pictures to
You will also
Facebook.
see product launches by global brand names. Only today, from this
Cool.
morning until the evening, we have many product launches from top brands from all over the world. Most importantly, we help to arrange one-on-one trade meetings with global buyers during the show. And That is not all you will see and do at Computex this year. For the next 5 days, you will see and experience how technologies are positively impacting how we live, work, and play, and how we communicate, think, and create. The industry is changing, and together we are changing the world. So, enjoy future technologies at Computex today. Now, I'm going to introduce to you someone very special. I have the pleasure of welcoming an extraordinary technology leader, Dr. Lisa Su.
Yes.
President and CEO of AMD.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love Lisa.
AMD is a high-performance computing force behind much of the technology that you use every day. This year, AMD is celebrating its 50th anniversary and is also launching the world's first 7-nanometer CPUs and GPUs.
That's right, 7 nanometer. Have you been out to South Asia? Nope, I have not. I am a lowly engineer, man. I don't get to do fun shit like that.
Dr. Su took over as CEO.
Maybe next year. I'm hoping I can go to Computex next year. I hope I can either go to Computex or CES next year.
And globally recognized business leader. Today, Dr. Su is joining the Computex.
Yeah, as an engineer, I am a low-level lab rat. I get to work on problems.
Welcome to Dr. Lisa Su.
We love Lisa Su. Ooh, the future of high-performance computing. The world's fastest processor for ultra-thin notebooks. I actually want to get the new Asus Zephyrus laptop. It's got a Ryzen 7 in it. She hasn't started talking yet. I'll turn them up when she starts talking. I'll be jacking the audio around quite a bit. Architecting the future of gaming. Xbox 4K, Stadia, PS4, generic computers, Fortnite, goddamn. Leading the exascale era, AMD Epic. I love Epic. Whew. Jimmy's, ooh, I got chubby going. Data centers, oh. AMD, oh my gosh. Oh. I lost it.
Good morning.
I hate that jacket.
Thank you so much, Walter.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa, for coming to Computex.
That's like the most awkward handshake ever.
All right. Good morning, Taipei. It is absolutely wonderful to be here in Taipei.
I've got to turn the fanboy down a little bit.
Press conference, and I have to really thank the entire Computex committee, particularly Tytra and TCA, for inviting
I don't know.
AMD
The
to
Asus
our first
Zephyrus
ever
laptop
keynote
is
here
not
at
that
Computex.
thick. I think it's like an ultra thin. You have to check it out.
It is an incredible place where we have our industry partners and all of the members of the press together.
Is that loud enough for you, Ghost?
I'd also like to welcome the global audience that is watching all over the world on live stream. We truly appreciate you joining us today, joining AMD, joining Computex.
If you
and,
do,
Walter
send me
said something interesting. He
send me
said
the link
it was
in
our first time at
tweet.
Computex. Actually, AMD
and I'll post
comes
it to
to
the stream.
Computex every single year. And we come to Computex every single year because this is the heart of the ecosystem in computing. But this is the first time we are officially invited to be a keynote here at Computex.
Yeah, because no one has given a crap about AMD until now, and Intel's getting kicked in the guts, and it's like, oh, AMD, you're our savior.
We actually celebrated our 50th anniversary, actually just a few weeks ago on May 1st. And it's a big milestone for every technology company, and certainly a big milestone for AMD. And if you look at the history of AMD, we've always had this vision. Our vision is to push technology to its limits. And it is all about industry first and introducing new technologies that haven't been introduced before. If you take a look at the first gigahertz CPU, that was introduced by AMD. Or the first gigahertz GPU, that was introduced by AMD. And more recently, we've really been focused on innovation in high-performance computing. So we introduced the first high-end desktop processor at 32 cores to really revolutionize
2990WX.
And just earlier this year,
beast.
we introduced the first 7-nanometer GPU.
Yes.
So lots of
Ryzen
technology,
7.
but
Or
as exciting
Radeon 7.
as the last 50 years were, the next 50 years for technology is much, much more exciting. There's a tremendous demand for computing, and we really see two key areas. It's the demand for better experiences.
All right, if you guys got any questions, and if you're new to the stream, thank you for dialing in. We're right in the middle of the beginning intro to the AMD keynote. Please post in chat if you've got questions or if you want me to cover things in depth. I'll be adding my color commentary and turning Lisa down as appropriate.
Requires tremendous computing power. On the other side, we also have these hundreds of devices giving us lots and lots of data. And what are you going to do with all that data? We want that data
Who's
to be
playing
smarter.
Buzzword Bingo?
We want that data to help us make decisions, and we want that data
Who's
to
playing
help
Buzzword
us make
Bingo?
our lives more easy. And that is really
Over
the huge
under
demand for
on
more
uses
compute
of
on
bigger
the other
data.
side of the infrastructure. Now, at AMD, we have one goal in mind. Our one goal is to lead the industry. And that requires that we think very differently about how to push the envelope in high-performance computing.
I like how they got all the
Since
people
we're
in
here
suits up in the front
our
row.
friends in Taiwan who control really so much of
If I
the
was there, I'd be
ecosystem,
wearing this
it is a
with my
tremendous
camo hat.
time to be in high-performance markets. Really. If you look
I like how
across the data
gaming and
center,
PCs
or you
is
look
two
across
separate
gaming, or you look across PCs,
genres.
all of these are growth areas for us and areas where new technologies can make a huge, huge difference.
Ooh, Radeon Instinct.
But one of the things about being in semiconductors is you have to make big bets. Big bets are what tell you, are you going to win or are you not going to win?
I will say
And at
Zen
AMD,
was a massive,
we have been making
massive
some big
bet.
bets. Our big bets are around high-performance leadership. And high-performance leadership is not one or two things.
I wonder if I've got a
It's
fun gym
really
here for you guys.
a series of decisions that were made 3 to 5 years ago that position us for this year in 2019. And if you take a look at some of those bets, the first is in process technology.
7
We've chosen
nanometer.
to be at the leading edge of process technology. We want the best that the industry has to offer.
I think they're
And
using
frankly,
TSMC 7
in
nanometer.
2019, that's 7-nanometer process technology. And we are extremely proud of partnering with TSMC because they do have the best technology in the industry.
That's debatable. Samsung
The
also
second
has
bet
7 nanometer,
is
and it is
around
also pretty good.
high-performance cores. The cores
But I bet
are
Samsung
really the
is a lot more
engines of
expensive.
our products. And you want those engines to be as modern and capable as possible. And so today, we're going to talk to you about our Zen 2 cores, and we're going to talk to you about our Navi products. And that gives you an idea of our high-performance engines that will power the next decade.
Confirmed Zen 2 Navi
And the third
tonight.
piece is we have to put all of these things smartly together. And it doesn't mean just building large pieces of silicon. It really means putting the best technology in the best silicon, in the best package, in the best system. And that's what we call our chiplet architecture. Because our chiplet architecture allows us to build an incredible set of products.
Chiplet architecture. It's also called
Now,
an
I told you
MCM,
Computex
multi-chip
is an extremely
module.
exciting time for us. And this,
Nothing new there.
This morning, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. We're going to give you a brief update.
Look at that motherboard on the far right. That is a funky layout.
Second-generation Rome.
Look at that. It's like completely inverted.
We're going to talk a bit about
That's weird.
Navi. How many of you are interested in Navi?
Less than enthused.
We're going to preview Navi for you because it's an incredible product family for gaming. And then, third-generation AMD Ryzen CPUs.
That's it? Come on, guys. Bunch of sad sacks in the room. Come on.
Talking about where
Let
technology can really go. So
Let's
with
hear
that, let's
Hey,
start
Scooby,
in the
what's
data
going
center,
on?
Please.
Ooh, we got a little pre-rendered video. Scooby, we're watching the AMD Keynote. AMD Epic. Oh yeah. This is some of my nerd stuff. I should probably grab some nerd stuff. This is Computex. This is a big tech expo for the computer industry. It's in Taipei, and it's actually like 10 o'clock in the morning over there. My little baby Epic.
All right, so look, the data center is really incredibly exciting.
Oh, I love
what's
data
exciting
centers.
About it is the data center really helps us solve the world's toughest and most important challenges.
Do y'all care about Epic at all?
And when you think about some of the most important scientific problems in the world, or you think about high-performance computing,
Ooh,
or you think
over
about
under.
the
How many
tremendous
minutes
growth
till
in
they
the
mention
cloud,
Frontier, their
or all
supercomputer
the focus
for
on
the
machine learning?
Department of
All
Defense?
of these things need lots and lots of computing horsepower, and that's what it is we've been focused on. 2 years ago, we introduced the EPYC processor family. EPYC was meant to really bring a new era in the data center. We wanted to change the rules. We wanted to allow people to use single socket or dual socket systems, depending on their
Dual socket,
workloads.
please.
And
Quad
with that,
socket.
we have seen
Do it.
tremendous adoption in
Quad
EPYC
socket
over the last
EPYC
2 years.
server.
Today, we have more than 60 AMD EPYC platforms in production. And if you look globally at the largest cloud environments,
My wife is awake.
many of them are using AMD, including Microsoft Azure, including Amazon, including Baidu, Tencent, and many, many more. We have more than 50 AMD EPYC cloud instances in production right now. But I talked to you about solving the world's toughest problems, and it's actually something that we're very proud of. We're engineers. We like to solve problems. And just a few weeks ago, we were very, very honored to be selected for probably one of the most challenging, if not the most challenging supercomputer in the world. AMD was selected by Oak Ridge National Laboratories and the US Department of Energy.
All right, I'm muting her for this one. I am a little salty on this. Our next projects we were going to be working on were going to be based on this. I actually worked on the supercomputer used, the IBM one sold a while back.
And it's using a future generation of our AMD Radeon Instinct. And the reason we love it
So we didn't
is
get
we
this.
know it's gonna
IBM
be
didn't get it,
incredibly
which kind
challenging.
of sucks.
But our goal in 2021 is to have the world's fastest supercomputer on AMD technology. And frankly, we're going to learn an incredible amount about how to build computers. But more importantly, we are going to help all of the scientists in the world.
I mean, look at that.
solve
That
some of
branding
these
is
tough
terrible.
challenges.
It
So
could be
just
a lot
take
better.
look
It
at
looks
what
just
people
like a
do
big old
with these supercomputers,
locker.
please.
We get excited about answers. In the end, to us, the technology's how we get to our answers.
Assistant Director, Oregon State University.
The evolution of AMD seems to be on task with how research computing moves forward. They help us reinvent how we're doing our science.
High-performance computing is an incredibly important market because it's central to product development, to scientific research, to natural resource exploration, and now, more so, to the emerging area of machine intelligence. We believe that supercomputing is at the forefront of computer architecture, and the innovations and technology
I'll be right back, guys.
that's driven into systems wind up defining the standard for the data center.
Building a supercomputer doesn't change the world in and of itself. It's only when we put it in the hands of scientists and engineers that they can use that system to change the world.
Frontier is going to change every aspect of our life, and we'll be better for it.
The bacteria I study have no cure, so detecting them quickly and carefully is really important for preventing disease, as they cause millions of dollars in damage every year. I'm always fighting to get more and more CPU time on the cluster, and with the EPYC server, I'm able to run
I had to get a little prize for you
faster,
guys.
and this is really key for getting my research done in a reasonable amount of time.
Our engineers are proud.
Papermaster, he used to be a IBM guy.
Analyze and progress.
We were really pissed when he left.
Advanced
like
weather
Power
models,
7?
advanced disease research, understanding molecular genetic disorders.
Seeing the science actually get somewhere and actually be able to change the world in a positive way is how we're using this technology, and that's what keeps the scientists going.
Is that exciting or what, in terms of what you can do with the technology? So with that, let me bring you to our first announcement of the morning. You saw what we could do in supercomputing capabilities, and what we're announcing today with Microsoft is we are bringing that supercomputing capability of scale into the Azure cloud. And the idea here is that we have the ability to have
oh yeah, this isn't the ROG mothership's not the one I was talking about.
10,000 CPUs.
I'll send you the link to the other one.
Really allow
it got announced a couple
very large tasks.
Couple weeks ago, or last week maybe.
Our first customer has already said that they have been able to get over 7,500 times speed up by using the Azure cloud with EPYC compared to what they could do before. So I think that's pretty amazing, huh? Now, I also want to give you an update on our second generation EPYC processor, Rome. Rome is an incredible product. It's built on 7nm technology. It's up to 64 Zen 2 cores. It has incredible compute and I/O and bandwidth capability because of the way we architected this device. And when you look at what that means, what we see in our labs and in our customers' labs is we see up to twice the performance, 2x the performance per socket compared to our previous generation.
Okay, that's not surprising. You do get a 2x bandwidth improvement with Gen 4 PCI.
That we've put into Rome. Now, we're very, very excited about how Rome is doing in the labs, and we want to show you some of how Rome is doing here at Computex. So for that, let me invite Forrest Nord to the stage.
Nice. I like Rome. The chip.
Hey, Lisa.
Not
Good
the
morning.
city.
Forrest runs our data center business, and Forrest, let's give our audience a preview of how Rome is doing.
Fantastic. Well, at CES back in January, Lisa showed the world the first performance demo on Rome, with a single Rome processor outperforming what was, at that time, a dual-socket, top-of-stack best system from our competitor. And that was great. But today, I'm going to be showing you that same
two
simulation
28-core
on two Rome processors
Xeon
outperforming
Platinum
the
8280s.
top-of-line Cascade Lake 8280 processor, dual-socket from Intel, just announced a month ago. And Rome, in a dual-socket to dual-socket comparison, over twice as fast on molecular dynamic simulations.
Woo. Dynamic simulations.
Forrest, you want to talk about what those nanoseconds were down there?
The nanoseconds were, we are simulating a protein that's part of HDL. floating around in the bloodstream, and it's critically important to understand
This is the one I was
how
talking
it
about,
interacts with
Ghost.
other chemicals in your body. And that simulation was simulation of nanoseconds of that progression of the molecule, 92,000 atoms. And it's such an incredibly complicated thing that even the speed of EPIC can only simulate about 20 nanoseconds a day, but that's twice as much as on Cascade Lake. So twice the performance on Rome than our previous generation, twice the performance of the 8280M, which is a $10,000 processor. And we have twice as many platforms in development that'll be ready so that customers, most
that's
importantly,
interesting.
can get the power of Rome
So,
into their hands, into their
when they
labs,
say they've
into
got
their
twice as many platforms, that means they've got twice as many server types that they're releasing. Instead of having just like this server, they've got, you know, a whole family of servers they can do.
Thank you, Forrest. And I hope you guys got just a preview of how excited we are with Rome. Rome is going to be incredible, and it's going to revolutionize the data center. So with that, now let's move into the realm of graphics and gaming.
Yes. Navi. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Crank that. It's like Stranger Things, man. GPU architecture for the future of gaming. Radeon. Pre-rendered graphic scenes. PC, console, cloud, yes. Radeon. Ooh. Radeon is everywhere.
How many of you love Radeon? We love Radeon.
Of course you
and
do.
What we say is Radeon is really everywhere.
Fun fact.
So if you think about it today.
So when at IBM, I worked on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. Yeah, PlayStation 3. And basically building those SoCs was a pipe cleaner for our mainline processors. So them making those the next gen PS5 out of Navi is really going to help them with clearing out the manufacturing issues for their Rome processor.
Really get the sense that Radeon is everywhere. And one of the things I say, and I say very, very often,
that jacket's hideous,
is
man.
AMD just loves gamers. Do you agree?
All right, so we got 7 nanometers, 16 gigabytes. Dang it.
You know, 2019 has already been a very, very important year for Radeon.
Vega
we
momentum.
Started the year at CES launching the second generation Vega product in gaming called Radeon 7. This was the world's first 7 nanometer GPU.
Ooh, look at all those data center GPUs.
Across gaming as well as compute workloads. And when you look
FreeSync
at what we're doing
2
in the data
HDR.
center
Oh, that's
with
just a box of the
Instinct
Radeon 7. That's nothing
MI60
new.
and MI50, we have a number of design wins and engagements that are looking at bringing Vega
1
into
terabyte
all
per
aspects
second,
of the data
thanks
center.
to HBM.
And what we see is tremendous momentum. So you're going to continue to see Vega, and you're going to continue to see Vega in these large compute-intensive workstation workloads, and you'll hear a lot more about that over the next weeks and months. But I started with the idea of gamers are special.
Give it to me, Lisa.
We believe
Give
there
it
are
to
over
me.
2 billion gamers
Resolution,
in the
streaming,
world.
efficiency,
And that's
performance control.
including
2 billion
PCs,
gamers demand.
Consoles, cloud, mobile, and gamers are incredibly demanding.
Stop
Gaming
teasing.
is a very, very social sport, so you want to be able to share it with your friends. You want incredible control and responsiveness. You want
Stop teasing me,
performance
Lisa
in
Sue.
every form
Just give it to
factor,
me
And
straight.
you want to be able to play your favorite games anywhere, anytime, any place with the same ecosystem.
She's getting nervous.
To do that, you really need to build a GPU architecture that goes across PCs, consoles, and the cloud. And that's exactly
She is super
what we
nervous.
set out to do. So, Navi is our new family of Radeon GPUs, and it is really built to power the future of gaming. And when you think about Navi, think about it's really the start of an incredible future in gaming going forward. So, let me tell you a little bit about Navi. Not many people know much about Navi.
Yeah, because
When
no
you
one's
look at
telling us
Navi,
about it.
We believe
Powered
that it
by
can
7
power
nanometer
a tremendous number of
and Ryzen
applications.
Zen 2. Really?
Just last
Oh,
month,
next gen.
Sony announced the first application of Navi. They announced that their next generation PlayStation is going to be powered by AMD with our semi-custom portfolio using Navi as well as
You
our
don't wanna
Zen
watch
2
that.
products. And I can't tell you how excited we are to do that. When you think about the vision of Mark Cerny at Sony, he's really looking at revolutionizing the console era for the next decade. And we are very, very honored to be partnering with Sony in that area. Now, when I talk about Navi, I also talk about Navi as it relates to our PC products. And I want to tell you a little bit about what makes Navi so special. There are really a couple of things. First, Navi has an all-new 7-nanometer RDNA architecture, Radeon Dna. This is different from GCN, and I'm going to talk more about why it's different and what it does for us. Navi's also focused on gaming. Like I said, responsiveness, performance, and so faster clock speeds, higher gaming performance, lower power. And Navi is also the world's first gaming GPU that has PCI Express Gen 4 enabled. So let me tell you a little bit about our DNA. And again, we call this Radeon Dna, so the R has a red
Good job, marketing team.
Radeon here. The way to think about
Truly
it is
insightful.
AMD has had a long history of architectures in the GPU space. We love GCN. GCN has been a great architecture for us. And frankly, you're going to continue to see GCN as we go with new versions of Vega and many of the high compute workload applications. But you guys know how we thought about Zen in CPUs. When we designed Zen in CPUs, we decided it was time for from-scratch design because we believed that you needed a new design for the future.
For
and
the
that's
future.
Exactly what RDNA is. RDNA is a gaming engine, the architecture that will power the foundation of gaming for the next decade. So we're extremely excited about RDNA.
All right. It's a lot of hype, a lot of
Now,
promises.
We have so much to talk about.
Just like
as it relates
Vega.
to RDNA. My friend David Wang is sitting right here in the front row. You can ask him all the questions. But let me give you a preview
Lots of hype.
of what makes RDNA so special.
I could have used a better term, man.
Is significant new capabilities. It's a brand new compute unit design. And the idea here is to optimize that compute unit for the future of gaming. And it's really focused on efficiency and increasing the number of instructions we could do per clock.
And we're still talking Navi here. This is not their processors. They keep focusing on computations with their GPU.
Higher bandwidth,
That's
getting
concerning
lower power,
to me.
Doing more. And the third point is we streamlined the graphics engine. And this is really bringing the architecture together and optimizing for performance per clock.
They don't need
as well as higher
optimizations.
clock
They need
So when you put all that together,
big
let me
things.
just give you a couple of numbers so you get an idea of how special our DNA is.
All right, give us some good numbers.
When you look at the architectural improvements of our DNA in our first generation,
Give it to me, baby.
compared to our Vega gaming generation.
If you guys are joining the stream, we're talking Navi right now. So if you've got questions regarding their GPUs and stuff, let us know in chat. 1.5x performance per watt.
So the way to think about this is
1.25 performance per clock.
Every clock cycle, you get more performance because of those
Need more.
compute engines and how we've optimized the pipeline. And then when you put that together, both the architecture, the design capability, as well as the process technology, we're seeing 1.5x or higher performance per watt capability on the new Navi products as a result of our
Now, let me put that in perspective for you. So their 300-watt Vega card should perform like a 275 to 250-watt Vega card.
So today, for the first time at Computex, I want to introduce the Radeon Rx 5000 family. And the RX 5000 family actually is named in honor of AMD's 50th birthday. So 50
RX 5000
is the year that we start the new architecture RDNA. So let me introduce you to the first Navi GPU.
Here it is, folks.
Thank you, Scott.
RX 5000. You got a big shadow in your face.
7-nanometer architecture.
I'm trying to see if there's any
RDNA,
HBM on it.
RX 5000. And some of you may say, this chip actually looks pretty small.
Yeah, okay, so there's no...
We like it small.
RX 5000. There's no
small,
HBM
but it
on
has
die.
Incredible performance in it.
Unless it's built
so
into the
you're
die.
going to see a lot of
There's no HBM on
Navi
it.
GPUs very, very soon.
If there was HBM, you could see the delineations in the die.
We also want to show you Navi in action. So Scott, come on back out here.
Hi, Lisa.
Yep,
Hi,
so
Scott.
there's no HBM on this.
So Scott runs
Keep that
our
in mind,
Radeon
guys.
Gaming business
We're going to be
unit,
playing
and
some
I think
Strange
Scott
Brigade.
has the most fun job in the company.
There's no doubt about it. I have the most fun
Potential
job in
lower
the
price
company.
is
My kids
correct,
always
and I
think
think
that
it
I just go to
also
work and
makes
game, so
manufacturing
I
a lot
appreciate
easier for
He
them,
actually does
since they
just
don't
go
have
to work and game.
to deal with that. And it
All right,
also
what are we going to show our fans here?
might
Yeah, hey, look, I'm very
it
super
might
excited
decrease
to,
performance a little
show
bit.
the world today Navi running for the very first time.
Correct.
a real
HBM,
live
I think they
gaming
said, is
demo
like
and benchmark.
$100
And on behalf of
per
all
8
AMD
gigabytes.
engineers, that have worked on the Navi product family.
All right, so
we
they're
are super
comparing this to
excited
the
get this in the hands
2070.
of gamers very, very soon. So behind me, you'll see that Chris over there has already started the benchmark running. This is Strange Brigade. It's running on 2 GPUs.
So Strange
on your left
Brigade
is
is
the RTX 2070, and on the right on the screen is our brand new Radeon
Strange
RX
Brigade is
5700
heavily,
series GPUs.
heavily favoring
Strange
for
Brigade
AMD
is a co-op
processors, by the
third-person
way.
shooter game. It's designed to
So there's
play
some,
with your friends.
I don't know
You
if y'all can
fight
see it, but
Minotaurs,
there are frame
fight
rates
some
in
scorpions,
red.
you know,
AMD's
also solve
showing
puzzles
about
and blow stuff up,
115,
which is
and
my favorite
NVIDIA's
part.
showing about
I love
100.
blowing
So
stuff
there's
up.
about
and then you can
a
see as the
15%
benchmark, comes to a close here.
improvement
You'll see the
here.
scores right behind me shortly. This is what
They don't tell us the resolution. They don't tell us the detail level.
On average,
Here,
the RX 5700 GPU.
the
beats our
RTX is at
competition
80,
by roughly
AMD's at 100.
performance
So
in this
that's
very
about a
early
20%
edition of the
increase.
game demo. So I'm super excited about that.
But that's also the 2070. I think the 2080 is that same bump up in
Scott
performance.
has too much fun playing games all the time, but Scott, our fans want to know. This is a Navi preview. This is a Navi preview. So our fans want to know, when can they get their hands on Navi?
Well, it's going to be very soon. So we will be launching everywhere in the world at retail and e-tail, available in July. And so I'm very excited for that.
5700 series in July. Holy cake balls.
So
Wow.
maybe I'll also tell everybody, if you want to learn more about Navi, for all the
What-
gamers on the stream and
that
in the
is
audience,
shocking.
You can come and either watch it on stream live, or if you're at the E3 trade show on June 10th, 3 p.m. Pacific, we will be talking
Wow.
about all the good details, including price points, performance, product.
So I'm going to turn them down here. So July, that's a month and a half, because we're almost into June. They're not releasing specs. They're not releasing jack today. They have this preview, and it looks 20% better. But with a month and a half to go, they've already finalized frequencies. They've finalized power specs. They've got their product, and they're not wanting to tell anybody about it.
You will have in store for you for Navi and our RDNA architecture. Now, let's turn our attention to the PC market.
Yes, PC market. Give it to me, baby. I hope y'all are enjoying the stream tonight. I hope y'all are catching me on Twitter. Twitter.com/theturk, @theturk. You can catch me on Instagram. I bet if you could do like social, I don't even know. Hey Darth, what's going on, girl? How you doing? I haven't seen you on stream in a long time. I forget the command, but you can follow me on Instagram too. We're posting it there. We just talked Navi. July is the release for Navi. That's a month and a half away. That's crazy.
So how many of you love PCs?
We'll come back to that, Ghost. We're getting ready to talk Ryzen
PCs
3rd
are
gen.
an incredible form factor, if you really think about it. And AMD loves PCs. So if you look today, there are over 1.5 billion
RX 5700 is the Navi processor.
What people do with PCs, they basically do everything. Whether it's productivity, gaming, entertainment, content creation, the PC form factor has lasted a long time because of all of its capability. And for many of us who are in the ecosystem, we actually believe that there are hundreds of millions of PCs that can be upgraded to be made smarter, more capable, more efficient, and more intuitive. And so over the past few years, AMD has actually invested heavily in the PC market because we believed that, frankly, there was more innovation to be had in PCs. And when you look at the PC market, it actually has some very, very interesting users. You have consumers who want thin, light, productive, good price point, those types of machines. You have enthusiasts, some of our favorites. These are the guys who want the best motherboard, the best CPU, the best CPU, always tweaking it, always overclocking it, always making it a little bit better, always pushing the technology.
Always, always,
and then you
always.
Have this whole class of creators who actually, the PC is their tool to let imaginations come alive. And if you
Just
look
like mine.
across all of these users, you actually need different technology to make all of them productive and capable
Always.
in PCs.
That's right, Ghost.
Now, what does that mean to AMD? That actually means the PC market, more than almost any other market,
Check out the RGB on that
requires a
case, man.
tremendous ecosystem. And that ecosystem requires our partners to work extremely closely together to bring that to the market. So I can think of no better way to talk about the PC market
Microsoft?
than really recognizing Microsoft as the most important partner for not just AMD, but for all of us in the PC ecosystem. And their vision, together with our collective efforts, really drives tremendous innovation. So with that, let me welcome my first guest,
No
Rowan
way.
Jones, to the stage. Rowan.
Is this guy from Microsoft? Oh, girl, sorry.
How are you?
Lovely. Thank you for having me.
Rowan, thank you so much for being here with us
you
at
bet.
Computex.
Congratulations.
She
First inaugural AMD keynote at Computex.
She's from
It's a
Microsoft.
big moment.
They could have picked someone better than Microsoft to help
Before, but I'll
pitch
say it again.
the next
Microsoft is the
motherboards.
heart of the PC ecosystem. Can you tell
I'm running
us a
5
little bit
nodes right
about
now. I could
Microsoft's
use at
vision
least
around
3 more
PCs?
super workstations. So
absolutely.
helpful. This is
I mean,
going to be
Windows
huge.
is integrated into the service fabric of our lives.
I don't care about
you know,
Windows.
From home to schools to work. You know, it's integrated into mission critical systems, from healthcare to finance, to governments, the world. You know, and so if I take a look back at our responsibility, we have to keep it safe and secure, but it also provides a huge opportunity.
My
for
favorite
growth. I have to say thank
470
you to you,
motherboard.
as well as the collective ecosystem. We now have 800 million Windows 10 monthly active devices.
We don't care about Microsoft.
That's very impressive.
We have line
We
of
don't care
sight
about
to
Microsoft
1
here, guys.
billion monthly active devices around the corner. It's just tremendous.
We don't
tremendous
care
growth.
about Microsoft.
Now, you mentioned this inflection point that's coming to the market. We could not agree more. And it's going to be powered by silicon and the need for compute, whether that is CPU, GPU, even custom silicon.
I do appreciate that they have some women up on
New
stage.
experiences that are cloud connected, that are AI powered, and that are
I
multi-sense.
do really wish it wasn't Microsoft up here
agree,
helping the
Rowan.
pitch.
I mean, it's an incredible vision. And AMD and Microsoft have been partners for a long time, but our relationship has changed. Can you talk a little bit about
Yeah. All
our
right.
relationship
Here's a
and
rant.
what we're doing together?
Yeah, the AMD-Microsoft relationship has changed. Why? Because Intel has bombed with security stuff, and Microsoft's like, oh, I should fix my operating system so your processors work correctly on it.
Together. And you're going to see that in what comes to market from both a device level, a driver level, and even the customer experiences that are going to be delivered. From a device level,
they've got like 5 of the same motherboard or laptop.
All price points, including premium designs. You are going to see it from all of the top OEMs here in this room with us today. And you're getting into the guts, actual component level choices.
Into the guts, the component level choices from all of these leading OEMs that are trying to team together to make a great product. And Microsoft is going to fix your code so it works properly. Win-win.
Experience that customers are going to have. If I look at drivers, AMD was actually first to delivering modern drivers for Windows 10. It eliminates churn. It enables customers to have a more seamless update experience, and it's lower cost for the ecosystem.
Fun fact, though, AMD does have really good drivers on their open source platforms.
Partnering with Microsoft and our OEMs, and we're just so honored. When you look at what you're doing with the modern device collection, and what we're
I love
doing
how all
together,
these people are
there's a
like
tremendous
typing
number
and
of form
on their
factors
phones,
are
like
coming out to
tweeting
market.
and all this stuff. I guess that's what I'm doing too, right?
With their feet on this one. If you look at modern devices, we see an 18% increase in customer satisfaction. We see a 12% increase in the average sales price, 6-month faster refresh. And the thing I'm probably most excited about is the Ryzen family is actually going to be 50% modern devices this year. So it's just tremendous.
Of course, Ryzen devices are going to be 50% modern. There's not a later generation processor that you put into a laptop.
I know! Oh, if only I could.
That's a useless stat.
Lisa and I have some inside scoop on the depth of partnership between AMD and Microsoft, not just in the PC space, but also as we look to the data center and the cloud and to graphics and gaming. I am really excited about what we are doing there. I think it is going to be next level in terms of
you
what
think this girl from Microsoft would have gotten a little bit more flashy of a outfit? I mean, she's wearing
for co-engineering here in Taipei as well as back.
I don't even know what kind of pattern it is on her blouse.
AMD's commitment to growth and to leading
Come on.
the category.
Fantastic. Rowan,
Step up your
so
fashion
much.
sense,
Thank you for your
Microsoft.
partnership. Thank
Come
you
on.
for being here today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, that's literally like 5 copies of the same laptop on that graphic.
We love the partnership with Microsoft, and one of the things I say is partnerships only get deeper with time, and that is really an example of one of the partnerships that has just gotten tremendously deeper.
Oh yeah, she looked great, but she could have bumped it up a notch.
Was talking about those modern devices.
She's in front of the world.
Those modern devices are actually powered by our 2nd generation Ryzen mobile device.
Yep.
We introduced.
We were talking about this on stream earlier, Ghost.
Earlier this year, and if you walk the Computex show floor, and if you look at the various OEM systems, you're going to see a large number of devices that have our 2nd generation Ryzen mobile that has tremendous performance as well as longer battery life. And when you look from Acer and Asus to Dell, HP, Lenovo, they're just a tremendous number of new form factors with AMD. And we appreciate that partnership. We appreciate that's difficult. We appreciate a lot of that is done here in Taiwan with our ODM and our OEM partners. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to have you hear from some of our OEM partners. So let me start first with Asus, which has a tremendously broad portfolio across desktop, notebook systems, motherboard components, and add-in boards. And with that, let me bring Joe Shea to the stage. Joe? Hi, Joe.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks to your kind introduction.
One of my future projects
I'm so excited
is with this bad boy from Asus.
Thank you so much for being here, Joe.
This is a mini ITX case.
Personally, I'd like to welcome Lisa to Taipei.
We'll turn the volume down on him. So this is a mini ITX case. I want to plug in a Ryzen 3000 series on this and have PCI Gen 4 come in here. And I'm hoping somebody has a PLX switch that breaks it out to a by 3 so that I can make a dual GPU mini ITX system. That's what I want to do.
ASUS and AMD all has the strong passion for innovations. ASUS has more than 5,000 engineers to design the products.
Yep, the Zephyrus GA502, that's the one we were looking at earlier.
That can provide a complete gaming
The X470F. I never touched that one. I only reviewed the Crosshair Hero 7 Wi-Fi. It's actually in that test review machine right there. It's doing some memory reviews. I still got to write those, by the way.
ROG always create
Come on, man.
high performance.
We don't care about this.
Inside and exciting.
Well, if you guys got any questions on stream, let me know in chat.
In April,
I would love to answer any questions, any rumors.
Ryzen CPU
We heard about Navi. It's going to be released in July.
And today, we
Uh,
are going to
which is only a month and a half
introduce
away,
new
by the way, guys.
gaming desktop.
And that GPU is going to be the RX 5700.
ROG Strix
It's got a 1.5 performance per watt.
Powered by AMD CPU. Do you want to talk about the CPU?
We are very excited because it will be one of the first systems with third-generation AMD Ryzen CPUs. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you, AMD. And what's more, designing motherboard for high-performance CPU presents many engineering challenges.
All right, so new
And
legacy
we
of
are
570
confident
boards. The
ASUS
one in the
could be
middle
the
does
one,
not have a fan on it.
maybe
The
the
one on the
only
left
one
does have a
overcome
fan on
the
it.
challenges.
We can't
There may
see
be a
they're
few
tough.
others here.
So that's the X570 Prime. That's interesting.
Kidding, all right?
It's interesting that they're not doing a crosshair.
So
Their Prime
today,
boards are yet like a
we
medium
are
value.
going to launch the latest ASUS X570 series motherboard.
She hasn't even announced the
Apart
chipset
from
yet.
the standard design, we include special tuning for memories,
Lame.
a dedicated part for high Qualcomm CPUs. And guess what? We have 30 designs for customers.
30 designs. Holy cow, that's a lot of motherboards. Oh, they didn't.
Thanks AMD for being such close partner for us.
All right, so what we saw from that,
Not least,
ASUS has
This
3
year
570
is also
boards ready to
ASUS
go.
30
They're
years
prime. It
anniversary.
looked like they're crosshair, and they're
So,
tough.
Let's celebrate together.
I'm not looking forward to that tough
you.
570.
Thank you so much.
I didn't like the X470 tough motherboard. It was a good value, but it definitely...
Thank you for the partnership with ASUS.
You could
and
tell
can
they cut some
there's
corners.
a tremendous amount of excitement around what they're going to bring to the market. Now, let me introduce another very special partner to AMD, our friends at Acer, who also have an incredibly broad portfolio in the PC category across notebooks, desktops, displays, and much, much more. So with that, let me welcome my friend Jerry Gao to the stage. Hi, Jerry.
Good job, Jerry.
Lisa.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me here. Yeah, first, also follow my friends. I also want to welcome Lisa to be here.
Thank you.
Be honest, she's not just a scientist, but a very successful entrepreneur, which very few CEO can make a turnover company successful like you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's keep kissing butts. I love it.
Maybe share a little story. Be honest, 2 months ago I had a dinner with my friend investor bank, and he specifically mentioned you.
So what do we think
because he
Acer is going to
said,
announce?
Because your stock price, he earned a lot of money.
This is a technical presentation.
Okay, but allow me to one sentence again. Because he using a description for AMD, which I think it's really a shock for me that people use that description.
All right, we need to get some 570
AMD
deets.
means
We need RX or Ryzen 3000 details. These guys are stonewalling. They're stalling us.
Lisa, this is your miracle delivered.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
So I also
Predator
want to thank you,
Helios
Lisa,
500.
because Lisa mentioned that AMD love gamers. So on behalf of our Acer gaming desktop and notebook to the customers, I want to say gamers also love AMD. So this is something we, because of you, we can deliver this monster. This is a Predator Helios notebook. I need to say that this is actually serious. That means not just the AMD CPU and GPU inside, but also has competitors, different combinations. However, a very famous YouTuber, Dave2D, I think many of you is familiar with him. He is actually 3 million followers and very professional in terms of notebook and media review. So he used the word absolutely beast for AMD solution. This is something I think I did not see anywhere in the world.
I like how they're giving credentials to a YouTube reviewer with 3 million subs.
Announced our new second generation Ryzen mobile, a Nitro 5 notebook. So I would like to invite you and everybody to see a video.
All right.
All right, we got a video from Acer. Pretty cool. Very Transformer-esque. Nitro 5, every generation has heroes. $3750H processor. Time tells their stories of greatness, strength, fortitude, and absolute supremacy.
That looks great, Jerry. Thank you so much.
Exciting, right?
Very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah. You know why I stopped this page?
Tell me why you stopped on this page.
Okay,
tell me why, tell me why.
Here means who sponsor. But I want to mention two keywords here. There are 2 lines here. For almost every your competitor, there's just a 1 line.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yep. So they're going to do a Navi GPU for their laptop.
Understand one very good thing, which is a strong advantage, is that you have both CPU and GPU.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We agree.
You know your competitors? Your famous GPU competitors don't have CPU. Your famous CPU competitors don't have GPU.
I like how they're not saying their names. It's like NVIDIA, Intel.
So I really want to represent Acer's sincere thanks to AMD because you have both solutions. Actually, the synergy, 1 + 1 is larger than 2.
Thank you.
Not just for designers like Acer, but for all the people who use AMD structure.
That's debatable.
They really enjoy it. This is something
I would still.
Thank you very much.
I would still say that.
Other than gaming, sorry, I'll need transition. Gaming is something I have already emphasized. We have a Predator, we have a Nitro. Predator is our hardcore gaming. Nitro is our main casual gaming.
Yep.
And with AMD's help, we both.
I mean, honestly, if the GPU's garbage, you wouldn't put it in the computer, and you wouldn't just purposely go all AMD.
Acer, the first
because the supply chains, it's not going to be that much better. It actually might even be worse if you're doing a 7 nanometer processor and a 7 nanometer GPU.
Thanks to AMD.
So. We got a broad product line from Acer.
Because there are other people in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we have a more product line actually equipped with the AMD technology, like our education, that's a TravelMate series and Veriton series.
We want to talk about motherboards. We talk about processors. Come on, guys.
And our famous Aspire, which actually we are shipped 10 million every year. And AMD represents a significant in that portion. Also want to thank Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you know, in Acer, we always talking about the lesser presentation of the statement we put in our lesser folio.
But Intel themselves, with the supply issues of the last 5 years, so people think, I mean, they kind of shot themselves in the foot, though. They were piling all these products in the same node and the same manufacturing fabs. So it's hard to prioritize. I'm making mobile die this one day. I'm making desktop server die.
I know.
So they really shot themselves by putting everything all in the same manufacturing process. Because like AMD, you know, they had 12 nanometer, but they also had some 17 nanometer products they were pumping out. So like they could use different supply lines to develop their chips and provide them. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the
now
first
that everything's on 7 nanometer, everything's on
AMD
TSMC.
plus AMD.
There's other
7
companies
nanometer
out there that
plus
want
7
to
nanometer.
develop 7 nanometer. So we'll see if AMD's got the big stick and the money to help keep their products flowing.
And most important, it is A plus A. The second A means Acer.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Jerry.
This has been my favorite OEM so far.
All right, fantastic. Look, it's wonderful to hear from our partners. They are truly, truly special.
Just so y'all
But
know,
it's time to get back to our products. And so I'm extremely, extremely excited for this next part of our presentation.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ryzen. Oh yeah. The 3rd generation of AMD microprocessors. It is new Zen 2 core, hype train, hype and chat, designed to game. Ryzen. I like how she keeps walking completely off stage.
Are you guys ready?
Yes. Yes.
Are you really ready?
Yes.
I am so excited today to talk to you about our 3rd generation of our AMD Ryzen. It is truly an incredible product for us. And you know, as much as
Do it,
we
baby.
loved the 1st generation of Ryzen, we absolutely love 1st gen Ryzen. Did you guys love 1st gen Ryzen?
Yeah. 1st gen Ryzen rocked.
And by the way, we loved 2nd gen Ryzen too.
Yes, we did. Zen Plus was great.
But
Arguably
frankly,
much better than the
our
1st.
company is an engineering company, and we were not satisfied. Our engineering team wanted to do more. We wanted to push
Get it.
the envelope further.
Push it.
We had so much ambition
Do
for
it.
the desktop and what you can do on the desktop.
You got me
So
sold.
today,
Give it to me.
We are ready to share with you the 3rd generation Ryzen processor family. So let me start with a little bit about what you know.
World's first PCI
you know,
something.
3rd generation Ryzen is based on 7 nanometer Zen 2 cores.
Yes,
This is
Zen
part of our
2,
Zen
7 nanometer.
processor family, and it's the 3rd incarnation of our Zen processor family. You also know that it's an AM4 socket, and that's important because we wanted our enthusiast fans to have the continuity.
All right, so that's a false
of
statement.
AM4.
World's first PCI 4.0
it's
ready
also
PC
the
platform.
world's first
IBM
PCIe
sells
Gen 4 platform,
development
and you're
machines
gonna
that
see
have
that in
PCI Gen
action
4 in them.
today
So that's
as
false.
well. So now let me tell you some things you may not know. Let's start first with the core.
Give it to me.
The core
Tell me
truly
about
is
Zen
the
2.
engine of our 3rd gen Ryzen. And Zen 2 is an incredible core. When you take a look at some of the features, we doubled the floating point. And why is that important? Doubling the floating point in PC applications means you have faster performance in creative workloads for all of those content creators who want to do more.
Don't tie it to content
We also
creators. We
doubled
don't need
the
it.
cache size.
Cache
Why
size.
did
We
double
love
the
that.
cache size? Because access to memory is so important. And we believed that if you reduce the memory latencies, you get much, much better performance, particularly
I wish I could see
in
the
games
back of the slide.
and how gaming performance works. And then the most important piece of Zen 2 is the IPC, or the instructions per clock. IPC, you work incredibly hard for every single percentage of performance. And when we started Zen 2, our engineers told me, Lisa, I think we might get 8 to 10% IPC.
Twice the cache
Zen is a
size,
great
reduced
core.
memory
Zen
latency.
is a great core. We think 8 to 10% is reasonable. But my engineers are amazing, and they always surprise me and us.
Oh, give us that number.
So today, I'm happy to share with you that Zen 2 in the PC workloads actually achieves 15% IPC uplift.
15% IPC uplift. Holy balls.
15%. Every percent counts. And the reason
there an
it
did y'all
counts
see
is
an
'cause
asterisk next to it?
IPC lifts all boats. All applications improve.
Performance
with IPC,
across all
whether
applications.
You're talking about gaming or heavily threaded applications and
That's
so on
awesome.
and so forth.
15%.
So we're really, really happy.
It
with
said
how
all
Gen 2
applications.
has come about.
Yep, greater performance across
But I'm
all
sure
applications.
You guys
Oh
want to
no.
know what the product can do. Is that right?
All right, I had to screenshot it.
All right, so let's start with the very first 3rd-gen Ryzen product. It's the Ryzen 7 3700X.
8 cores,
4.4
4.4 boost. Holy cow.
CPU. It has
65 watt
8 cores,
TDP.
16 threads, 4.4
Wow.
gigahertz boost frequency.
That is
36
crazy.
megabytes of total cache, and all in an amazing 65 watts of TDP.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
65 watts for 8 cores and 16 threads.
So
That's
I've
the
got
power
a
of
2700X
7nm technology.
here.
If you take a look at
Boosts to
some of the performance
4.3,
characteristics,
3.7 base.
the 2nd-gen
It doesn't say what.
is a great set of products, but what we're seeing with the 3700X is significant double-digit performance.
Oh, so
in
they've
both
got
single-threaded
compared to the
and multi-threaded
2700.
workloads at that significantly lower power. So more performance, lower power, 3rd-gen capability. But with that, you probably want to see the 3rd-gen in action. So Robert, come on out and help me
That is
demonstrate
awesome.
3700X.
65 watts.
Hey.
All right, Robert, what are we going to show?
So we've got Cinebench R20 running, and I was thinking back to my time as a reviewer looking at AMD's K7 and K8 architectures, long time ago. And we've used Cinebench for over 15 years to reliably and quickly test the performance of a processor. And now we're on Cinebench R20, which came out just last month. And what you'll see on your right is the Ryzen 7 3700X versus
Compared
on the
against the
left, Ryzen 7
9700K.
9700K. And as we churn through this realistic, ray-traced scene, you may notice that the Ryzen 7 3700X is
So the Ryzen 7 2700X is a 105 watt part,
and that's really
which
a
means
testament to
they
the
nearly
compute
shaved the
performance of
wattage
Zen 2
down by a
and the
half.
density that the
Unless they
7
did some
nanometer
funny
Zen 2 architecture
math. Yeah, I
brings
just
to
saw
a chip.
your message there.
Fantastic.
And it's just a monster performance. And I think if content creators really, really want something special, that's just 65 watts. This is a beautiful, beautiful part. And
So what's the 120 watt one look like?
Yeah. So we'll just let that tick through.
What's the 120 watt Ryzen 7 3000 series look like?
Are we done?
Almost there.
Almost.
Almost. Okay.
It takes a little while.
All right, there we
All
are.
right.
All right.
Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So
All
look,
right.
you get an idea of how much capability you have. Again, against our competitor, what we see is single-threaded performance about equal, and 28% more multi-threaded performance, all
Oh
at
no, did I just
65
hear that
watts
right?
with lower power.
Zoom out here, buddy. Zoom out.
So we love 3700X.
Okay,
but
so
you know we
that
love
stat
processors
was
in
compared
general.
against
So
Intel.
let me introduce you to the next member of the Ryzen 7 family, the Ryzen 7 3800X. The
4.5 gig
is
boost.
now the 8-core device
Wow.
for the enthusiast gamer. The boost clock goes up to 4.5 gigahertz, 36 megabytes of total cache, and you see this is now at
Well, and that's the 105 watt
and when we think about the
part.
3800X, we really think about it as the 8-core performance leader. So
That's
take
cool.
a look at the improvements. Ryzen was always an
So
incredible
blue
processor,
is
but
Ryzen
when you
7
look at the
2700 and
gaming
red is
improvements that we've been able
3700X.
to get with 3rd-gen Ryzen, you can just look
Did I see that
generationally.
right?
These are some of the most popular esports titles.
Zoom
things
back
like
out.
League of Legends, Dota, PUBG.
Camera guy, we need
And you
the
can
full
see
screen.
tremendous double-digit performance improvement because we really believe gaming performance is critical, and we designed the 3800X for gaming performance. So with that, let me invite Robert out again to show you what 3800X does.
Okay, so this time we have the Core i9 9900K on the left.
Why are they
versus
doing
our
PUBG?
beautiful
PUBG is
Ryzen
not a
7
very
3800X.
demanding game.
Both of them 8 cores, 16 threads. And the great thing about it is this beautiful PUBG demo that we built and recorded to reliably test the performance of this game. This is a tough game to benchmark, but we've done it. And what you'll see is that both processors are about the same. And in fact, that's ideal. I know as a gamer that I want a processor that gives so much performance to the GPU that it's out of the way. I don't even have to worry about the fact that my GPU is being bottlenecked by the processor. So the Ryzen 7 3800X, if you are looking for a chip that gives you the performance you need for those high-end GPUs, this is it. It's the best game in town. And if you add in all the other technologies, Lisa, like Gen 4 and 7 nanometer, it's the only choice.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah. And it's not the same scene
Now,
either,
what
because
we
they've
said
got the
about
girl runner was in
our
front on the
solution
left,
is it's
and the
not
guy
just
was on the
about
right.
Processor. It really is about the system. So what we want to show you next, Robert's going to help me. We're going to show you the 3800X with the new Navi Radeon Rx 5700 series with X570 motherboard and with a tremendous amount of I/O capability using PCI Express Gen 4. So this is actually the world's first PCI Express Gen 4 ready gaming PC and demo. So Robert, let's show our
I will
crowd.
say that
Absolutely.
the IBM
We
box
built
is
two
not a
systems.
gaming.
On your left, a PCI Gen 3 system.
So
and
they're
on your
running
right,
3D Mark.
exclusively and uniquely from AMD, a PCI Gen 4 system.
i9 9900K with an RTX 2080 Ti versus a 5700.
Designed to answer the question, how much extra graphics performance can you get from PCI Gen 4 versus Gen 3? And the answer is clear, and it's large. Up to 69% more performance for graphics from having PCI
That's a
Gen
that's
4,
not good
which you
scaling.
can only
Look at that
get
bandwidth.
from AMD.
That's not good scaling at all.
So we're running about 25 frames per second on the AMD system and about 14 frames per second on the Intel system.
I couldn't see it.
And this is just a really great demonstration of what Gen 4 can do for gamers, and you think about how that might help games in the future.
Fantastic. Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So that was the i9 9900K with a 2080 Ti against 3800X and a
this is what your
what's the other
takeaway
one?
should be.
The 37
When you
or
look
50
at Ryzen
5700
3700X
RX.
or 3800X in single-threaded, we are at
No, it was
or
a
better than the
2080 Ti.
competition.
That
In
was a
multi-threaded,
9900K with a
we are
2080 Ti
significantly better than the competition. And this
versus
is
the
power of Gen 2,
5700.
the power
Yeah.
of our chiplet architecture, and the power of bringing that all together.
So
in
that
the system.
confirms that the
So
Navi
that's
GPUs
Ryzen
will
7.
be Gen 4. So the question will be, if you don't get the Gen 4 processors, what kind of
We
a
also
bottleneck
have
are you
a
going
broad
to hit?
ecosystem ready for our 3rd gen Ryzen.
I
And
have
when
a
you
feeling
look
it
at
was
this, I
the
really
the
wanna
3D
thank
Mark
our
workload
partners.
they ran.
Our partners have really brought forward over 56
I don't know what
new
that 3D Mark
motherboards,
workload was.
X570s at launch. So thank you for that.
ASRock, rock on.
And we have 100+ motherboards that are already Ryzen ready for 3rd generation. So that's our commitment to the AM4 platform. And so all of you will have access to that broad ecosystem. Now, I do have one more thing for you this morning.
That's right.
Do I have one more thing?
Threadripper. Talk to me about Threadripper.
Everybody has been wondering, is AMD going to bring more than 8 cores to the 3rd gen Ryzen desktop processor family? And today, I'm very happy to say the answer is absolutely yes.
Nice. So there's going to be a 3900X CPU.
AMD is pushing gaming beyond 8 cores, and today I am so proud to introduce the new AMD Ryzen 9 family.
Ryzen 9, wow.
So, for the very first time, take a look at
Ooh, there's that
AMD
second
Ryzen
die.
9.
Nice.
Is this beautiful or what?
We all knew that was coming. We all knew there was going to be another die. So the big die there is the I/O controller, and the two smaller dies are the processing cores and the L2, L3 cache.
We had room for the second core chiplet. And the answer is we absolutely have room.
Of course she absolutely had room on it. Give me the numbers. I have a feeling I'm reviewing that one. If that's going to be replacing Threadripper...
I love silicon. But I also love products and showing products
Possibly.
off. So let me talk about Ryzen 9.
Let's learn about it. 12
the
cores.
Ryzen 9 3900X is the absolutely first mainstream desktop processor with 12 cores and 24 threads.
4.6
and what
gig.
You see that's
Damn.
so special here is this is the no compromise product.
3.8 base.
4.6 gigahertz boost, 70 megabytes of total cache, and it's all in 105 watts.
Oh, wow. 105. I've got a chubby,
and when
guys.
we say no compromise, we mean that it is a phenomenal
So I know how they do this.
CPU.
I'll tell you.
Gaming CPU as well. So
with my knowledge and know-how, I'll tell you
back
why.
To show off the performance of our 3900X. Robert?
No, they don't fudge the number.
For my last and final trick, I'm going to take
And they're comparing it against the 9920X Intel chip.
HEDT socket. This is a $1,200
It is a real-world
processor
TDP.
on the
I'll
left
tell you how it
versus
works,
the AMD
Ghost.
Ryzen 9 3900X
And anyone else on channel, if
your
y'all are
right.
kind of
And we're
astounded
running
by
one
this,
which is trusted
I know
by
it.
many content creators to evaluate 3D rendering performance.
This is a
And
Blender.
it's
So
just a really
Blender
great content creation
is
tool.
very
And what you see
multi-threaded.
from every
It's
box
not
is a
memory
processing
bandwidth
thread. And as we come to the
dependent, which is
finish,
kind of
the
nice for
difference
this
is clear.
comparison.
We finished in about 32 seconds.
Because
versus the
3990X is
38
probably
seconds.
dual channel.
And
9920,
that's about
I
an 18%
believe,
performance improvement
is
for
quad
AMD,
channel.
and we're going core to core, 12 versus 12, which means Zen 2 is simply faster.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How many cores are on a 9920? Oh, I think he said 12 for 12. 9920.
We love to win. Take a look at what we're doing with the Ryzen 9 3900X. We have double-digit improvement in single-thread performance, significant improvement in multi-threaded performance. And take a look at the power. Our competition is at 165 watts, and we are at 105 watts. Does that look great or what?
I can't believe it's 105 watts though. That's pretty crazy.
So I know it all looks great, but I know now you're wondering, how much does this cost? When am I going to be able to get 3rd gen Ryzen? So now let's go there. At AMD, we believe in bringing the best technology to our fans and to our ecosystem, and that's the way we think about it. 3rd gen Ryzen is amazing. When you look at the 3700X, when you look at more performance, lower power, all of that versus our competition, what we believe is the price point for an entry-level 8-core device should be $329.
That's a pricey processor. And that's the bottom tier.
And when you move up to the 3800X, the ultimate 8-core 16-thread device for gamers and content creators, incredible performance, both single and multi-threaded. We also believe, again, we want as many people to have this as possible. So this will retail for $399.
Oh, wow. So how?
And finally,
700?
the Ryzen 9 family. We love this guy. We love this guy because we love that we can bring something to the market that nobody
I am
has ever
dumbfounded
done before.
how much
In
this
12
is going to be.
cores,
500 bucks?
threads. You saw, Robert, we compared against our
If you compare this
competition,
against
whose
Threadripper,
device
Threadrippers
is
are
more than
$700
$1,100.
SKUs, man.
But
Like for
we
the
believe
1920X.
that we want as many people as possible to have the Ryzen 9 3900X. So when this goes on sale, it will retail for $499.
That is freaking crazy.
Half the price. That's half the price of our competition with much, much more performance. So now you want to know when you can get this all. And when you put all this together, what you see is the AM4 platform has been amazing. Just take a look at what we have done over the last 2 years. When we started the first-gen Ryzen, we thought it was amazing.
Wow.
But in just a little over 2 years,
$500.
we have brought the performance at the $499 price point up 32% single-threaded, double in multi-threaded performance.
Wow.
And increase the core count from 8 to 12 cores.
That is freaking
At AMD,
bonkers.
we call that innovation, and I hope you see this is what technology leadership is all about.
But you know why they can't make them too cheap? They still have so much prior gen Ryzen stock out there still being sold. Oh, that's a good point.
So now you want to know when you can get third generation Ryzen?
We want to know.
I'm very, very proud to tell you that all of these processors go on shelf on July 7th.
That is freaking crazy. July 7th.
7-nanometer desktop CPU on 7/7 for all of you.
We knew the 7/7 date. So when is Navi coming out? Because they're releasing Navi in July also.
Let me bring our Computex keynote to a close and say,
all right.
First of all, we are so honored to be here. And I want to thank Tytra and TCA again for the opportunity for us to be at the opening keynote. It has been an incredible day. It's never been a better time to be in the high-performance computing world, and we are so appreciative of the support of all of our fans and all of our ecosystem partners. So to close the show, I want to invite our ecosystem partners to the stage so that we can take a picture together. Please join me. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We have got a lot to talk about, folks.
Thank you.
Lots.
Thank you. Thank you.
And lots to talk about. So there you have it, guys. This is the keynote from 2019 Computex AMD with Lisa Su. We have got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. This is nuts. This is crazy. We don't care about Linus Tech Tips. We don't care about that guy. So let's switch back over to the old big... We don't want that one. Chrome window. Boom. There we go. All right. Thanks for doing the keynote, Turk. You're welcome, Ghost. I'm glad you were with me. I've got in my hand what I take away from this whole experience. And if y'all are interested, I can go through it with you. It's going to be... I'm going to post this video to YouTube. I will have this on the stream as a highlight. This is pretty effing cool. So let's get this out of the bag first. Navi. So we've heard rumors. We've seen some stuff. We finally have got official word from AMD about what Navi is, what it looks like, and also when it's coming out. So they were saying that Navi will be released July. And if that's not doesn't sound crazy to you guys, that is bonkers. Why is that? Because June, July, that's 2 months. They haven't given us price points. They've given us very vague performance numbers for their new Navi GPUs. But they did give us a name. It's the RX 5700. Fun fact, if you've watched the entire keynote, they did a performance comparison with their new Ryzen processor and the new Navi versus the Intel 9900X. This is going to be a Gen 4 GPU. At least that's what they led us to believe. The comparison of the test was 2 3D Mark tests running side by side. The Navi-based Ryzen system was getting almost double the frames per second compared to the Intel machine. So I think and there was like a 63% performance metric. Don't quote me on that, but there was, you know, they said there was some scaling stuff. So this Navi GPU, I think, will be a Gen 4 GPU. It'll be interesting what other SKUs and stuff they have in store. But that's Navi. It's going to be, I don't know why I wrote 1.5 there. I think it's a 1.5% or 1.5 improvement compared to the other Vegas. And the important metric here also, 1.5 times performance per watt. So you've got your 300 watt Navi or Radeon 7. It's going to be lower power and still the same performance. So we're probably going to see some pretty good GPU cooling, and we can hope that that RX 5700 is not the top tier GPU. I don't think it will be. It sounds like they haven't even closed the various SKUs, the various frequencies or anything. So I think they're still trying to pinpoint that. But they've got die going through the fab. It takes 30 days to create silicon, chop it up, put it onto a package, and ship it out to you know, your retailers and stuff. So Navi's going to be pretty interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what the review people do, because that's a month. You know, if you're not ready with your Gen 4 stuff ready to go, then this might be something to think about too. The first batch of reviews might not be favorable because you've got a brand new motherboard, you got a brand new processor, you got a brand new GPU, you got a brand new interconnect. There could be a whole slew of problems coming. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. I think it's a great opportunity, but this is a lot of new stuff all being released in the month of July. So let's hope that AMD has learned a lot from their 300 series motherboards, their second series Ryzen processor reviews with the 470. That launch went smooth as heck. So we'll hope the 500 series motherboards with the latest processors and the latest GPUs will be just as good. So the next big thing is Rome. Just kidding. We're not going to talk about Rome. Rome is their next generation data center processor. It's supposed to be really cool. We'll leave them at that. But let's talk the Ryzen 3000 series Zen 2 cores. Very, very, very excellent presentation by Dr. Lisa. And we had ASUS came up on stage, as well as Acer came on stage, talking about some of their mobile platforms, as well as, you know, the different motherboards they're going to be offering. We'll talk about ASUS in a little bit. But let's go with the high-level specs and stuff for the Ryzen CPUs. On the low end, they're not saying, you know, Ryzen 5s, Ryzen 3s, Ryzen 7s, or I guess it is 7s. But the lowest tier they offered today was the 3700X. It's a 65 watt processor. That is crazy. I think we were talking about it in the stream. It went from a 125 watt part to a 65 watt part. Holy cow. Don't quote me on the 125 watt. It might have been 105. Let's pull it up. I actually pulled it up just so I could quote it. Yes, it's a 105. So they dropped 40 watts on the 700 series processor. So that's crazy. That's crazy town. And they also said it's got a 15% IPC uplift. So you're getting a faster processor with lower power. And what did they say the price was? Like $300, $400? I could pull it up on Twitter real quick. Yeah, so the 3700X is going to be $330. That's crazy town. I don't know what it is compared to a 2700X today, but that's $330. That's a pretty decent priced CPU. 8 cores, 16 threads, boosts to 4.4, and it's 65 watts. That is nuts. 2700X goes for about $260. So there could be some really interesting value concepts going on here. So then we got the 3800X, which is where we all thought we were going to end tonight. We weren't going to hear much more from AMD. This one's a 4.5 gigahertz boost, 8 cores, 16 threads, This one does have the 105 watt TDP. That's going for $400. What? For a $70 more, you get 2 cores. You also get an extra 100 megahertz in boost. That's crazy. I love it. Like, I wish they would have had a 2800X with the 2000 series. But oh well. And then here's the bombshell of the night. Ryzen 9 taking a letter out of the playbook from Intel with their i9 series, right? Ryzen 9, 12 cores, 4.6 gigahertz boost, 3.8 gigahertz base. Let's put that into perspective. The 3700 has a 3.6 base. The 3800 has a 3.9 base. This one's got 3.8 gigahertz base, higher boost, same TDP as the 3800X. Wow. I don't know what to say about that. That is freaking crazy. And what's even more crazy, it's $500. When they were doing their price comparison during the keynote, I think they said it was half the cost of the equally spec'd Intel part. That's a game changer, folks. I don't know what to tell you. That is freaking crazy. I love it. I really hope that production stuff, there's no issues. I hope they got TSMC locked down. I hope they got plenty of wafers because they're going to be selling these things like hotcakes. So let's let that all soak in, right? We're off on the high. We've learned a lot about these new processors. Here's my I was going to tell you about how do they get this Ryzen 9 to be this fast at this wattage. So what they did is they took 2 of these 3700X cores, and they actually, if you look at the 3700X, yeah, so the boost and the base are only 200 megahertz apart between the SKUs. So what they're doing is they're finding the best 6-core die, undervolting them so that, they can have 2 die on the same package, and they're going to barely apply any more voltage in order to get those frequencies, the 4.6 boost. And this is the same thing they took out of Threadripper. They took a different Ryzen die, and they got like the best voltage bend processors or die and put them on that package. It's the same textbook, and that's exactly how they're able to get the 105 watt TDP. They're able to run these processors slow enough at 3.8 at such a low voltage that they're still at the 105, and then that 4.6 is what gets you that performance metric, those IPC numbers. And they're on a very fine line. I would imagine this part doesn't overclock well. We will have to see in the reviews. Yeah, thermal numbers, it'll be interesting. I mean, they're spec'd for 105 watts, so you could technically cool it on, this Wraith Spire cooler. Because if you think about it, I'm pulling it out for illustration purposes. The 2700X was a air-cooled part, right? So you could be cooling 12 cores with this bad boy. And like, how crazy is that? That's just absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait. It's going to be a very, very interesting how they're going to do these reviews. I've got some questions for my Tom's Hardware folks. Since they didn't say anything about Threadripper, I don't know what my future lies there, to be honest. But I can be optimistic. I can't wait to see thermal numbers given the lower TDP. Not even my i5 will keep good thermals with some kind of an AIO. Yep. So, lots of fun stuff there. One fun thing that I think people still don't understand about PCI Gen 4 and why I think I'm in a really good spot to provide some background. PCI Gen 4 doubles the bandwidth of Gen 3. So you can either run faster performing or bandwidth capable devices on the same link widths, or you can use less lanes to provide the same amount of bandwidth. What I'm interested in seeing, and this will be not from AMD, but from other people, I want to put the 3900X in this bad boy. This is the ROG Strix X370. So this is an older processor, older board. Supposed to work. Supposed to work. I want to put in this bottom PCI slot some sort of a bridge chip adapter card so I can build a small form factor dual GPU overclocked monstrosity. Put a mono block on this thing, same thing we did with the mini monster build with the 2990WX. This is going to be one of my projects I'm going to try and talk Tom into let me do. But then that also begs the question, what about this guy? This is my favorite motherboard from the 470 series. It's got the best, see it over here. It's got the thin stack on top of the VRMs, so it's capable of pumping out the power. It's the same wattage spec parts. So the big question will be, how does it handle the Gen 4? Hey, Bearded Corvus, what's going on, man? We're just going over some of the AMD Keynote, and we're talking about all the mad specs of these Ryzen 3000 series Zen 2 equipped processors. Wow. I love it. $500 for a 12-core processor. Oh yeah, I think people are hyping up this 570 stuff. I think 470 is going to be okay on some boards. There might be some that aren't capable of it, but I think most 470s could be okay. You missed the keynote. If you after I'm done with this stream, you can watch it on my channel in the VOD section. I'm going to highlight it as well, and I'm also actually recording this. This is going to be out on YouTube with my impressions. What about Threadripper? So high core counts, high I/O connectivity, that has been this processor's bread and butter. What are we going to do with Threadripper, folks? I'm on Threadripper right now. I love Threadripper. I think it still has merit in this day and age. Some people might not be thinking about it, but I am. But that covers, I don't know, Ghost, did we miss anything? We talked Navi, we talked the Ryzen 3000 series. I think that's about it. They talked about some of their OEM stuff. I've been waiting to see what they were going to say about the new Ryzen chip. Well, once we're done with the stream, you can watch all this stuff again. Yeah, we don't care about Epic and Data Center. I do. I'm actually in the process of trying to talk Gigabyte into letting me have an Epic server. Because I love Epic. Epic is epic. Lisa, if y'all didn't know, Lisa Sue's license plate on her Porsche, I think it's a Porsche Cayman, it says Epic on the back. I've actually taken a tour of the AMD labs before, and it's pretty cool. They've got a bunch of like custom tricked out PC rigs. It's super cool. But that is the stream, folks. We had a good time. We started at about 8:45. It's now 10:45, so about 2 hours of uptime. Does anybody have any questions or any speculation you'd like me to do? I'd love to get your thoughts. I thought the stream went really well. I'm really appreciate all y'all on the stream tonight. We did tweet out a bunch of stuff. We Instagrammed some stuff. I think it was a really good stream. I don't know if I could have done a better stream, to be honest. I gave you my all, folks. I give you everything. So tomorrow is Memorial Day. I'm actually going to stop recording. I'm super excited as well. I am pumped. I can't wait. The only thing I am not excited about is there was no Threadripper, and they don't want me covering the mid-range or the mid-ranged AMD stuff anymore, which really bums me out. I'm gonna have to talk to Tom's there. I'm curious what is going to happen for July, if it's going to be just insanity or what. Yeah. So 7 nanometer. Everyone's pitching this stuff as like the holy grail of processing technologies. You know, a lot of people are trying to get into 7 nanometer. TSMC and Samsung are currently the only people that can do 7 nanometer. The Ryzen 3000, do you think they will be better for streaming gaming setup? Yes. Definitely for streaming, it's going to be kind of equivalent, if not better. But gaming is going to be a lot better because the boost clocks are freaking crazy. Let's so the 3700 boosts up to 4.4 gigahertz. The 3800X, that's their like mid-tier one. That boosts to 4.5, so that's a 200% extra boost compared to the 2700X. And then the Ryzen 9 boosts to 4.6 gigahertz, which there's not even a 12-core Ryzen processor at the moment. It's 105 watts. I really hope, and here's me speculating again, I'm hoping X264 encoding gets a lot better, so maybe you can go from like a medium preset to a slow preset. But what I'm hoping, Twitch gets their act together and lets you stream at H265. Because if they do that, it's game over for Intel. Because they'll have the multi-core support. They'll have the boost clock frequency support. AMD will be like the de facto streaming processor. But no one does 265 encoding for web-based media content. So that sucks. Tell you what this will do. Within a year, this is going to kill the market for all those old Xeon and FX processors that make so much power and don't have current PCI. Yep. I could agree with that. Not a lot of people are buying FX-based processors to begin with. So, unless they're like replacing their old computer. But at that point, you mentioned it earlier, there's still a bunch of first-gen Ryzen stock out in the wild. You could buy a 1700X, overclock the snot out of it. You're still running a pretty bitchin' system. Yep, they do brisk business on the old eBay. But I'm pumped. It's going to be some really good stuff. What's Intel going to show us? They showed us the 9900KS today. And I wasn't all that shocked. I mean, it's an extra better bend Intel chip. Nothing to write home to mom about. I might call my mom after this and tell her I might have to buy a new processor. Yeah, you got it. You could probably buy... How much is... Let's go to eBay. Yeah. And Bearded, you're in a perfect spot, dude. Going from an FX to a 3700X, that's a $350 chip. Granted, you'd have to buy a motherboard and stuff and all that, so that might suck. And memory, I don't think they had DDR4 for the FX chipsets, the 990FX. Let's go to the old eBays. Oh yeah, we were doing this search earlier. So they were doing a 12-core to 12-core comparison. The i9-9920X, $1,200. So a $500 processor could beat a $1,200 processor. Wow. I wish I had AMD stock right now. That's just crazy town. Oh man, my buddies over at Tom's Hardware are getting ready to head to the AMD demos. That's awesome. That's so cool. I was planning on doing a full new build. Chip, MOBO, RAM, and GPU. Well, Bearded, come July, you can drop probably close to $1,500 on a brand new AMD CPU, a brand new AMD GPU, and then also buy a brand new AMD motherboard. That's going to be a bitchin' system, man. What was most interesting to me about the Epic comparisons, I wish there were boards for consumer market that allowed Dual CPU configs. Yep. I think you can buy... ASUS makes dual socket epics. I think they do. ASUS.com. If you guys are joining the stream or just now, I appreciate it. We're still talking... we're talking shop about the AMD Keynote. Dr. Lisa Su knocked it out of the park. Her engineers are fabulous, as always. Lots of fun, cool stuff coming out in the short term. You tagged me on something. There are no dual-socket Ryzen boards. Yeah, you'd have to go Epic. Shrimp, what did I think? I couldn't have said it better than like 20 seconds ago. I think AMD is in the driver's seat of the industry at the moment. They've got Microsoft joining them on their keynotes, kissing their ass on stage. They've got, you know, all these OEMs finally saying, oh, your processors are great. I'm going to put them into my laptops. I think the industry is looking at the redheaded stepchild that 10 years ago was a dork wearing overalls in the gym, and now she's out of high school, she's going to college, and she's a smoking bombshell, man. And people are just like... So yeah, I think AMD's got the world by the horns right now. Curious as to what I should upgrade to if I'm streaming and gaming on a PC. I'm excited to sell those laptops. Yep, I want an AMD laptop. What's the new GPU? The GPU's called the RX 5700. They still don't have speeds, frequencies, memory configs. All they told us was it's a 1.5x performance per watt improvement to the previous Radeon 7s. There was another 1.5x, might have been like floating point performance. I don't know. They didn't say price. That's getting released in July too. I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be crazy. Shrimp asks, curious if I should upgrade. What you're going to want to upgrade to, you got a 6-core, an 8-core, or a 12-core. I would tell you to upgrade to the 8-core. The 3800X, that's let's see if we can pull the price out of it. I posted it to my Twitter, and I don't have it open anymore. Give me just a sec. So the 3800X is $400. It's got a 4.5 gigahertz boost clock with a 3.9 base, which is great. 105 watts. So it's 20 watts. Just kidding. It's the same wattage as the 2700X. Same core count, but the IPC is faster. The boost clock's faster. Everything's faster. I love it. I've got a chubby, dude. I'm so jacked. This is awesome. Yeah, it seems like a good middle ground. What I like most about it is, so I've got a 2700X over here. I'm on a 1950 Threadripper, and I played my stream last night at the LAN party on a 1600X. So I've got a 6-core, 8-core, 16-core. Yeah, this is a 16-core processor. So this is able to stream really well because it's got all the cores, and I can do X264 encoding pretty easily. I'm only burning 10% of my CPU in the stream right now. Granted, I'm not gaming. So I love the Threadripper. The 2700X is a great thing, and I think the 3800X is just going to send it home. I'm still gun shy and pulling the trigger and getting a 20 card. There are rumors that NVIDIA will be refreshing the RTX 2000 series soon. And I think they're doing it because Navi might have some oomph to it. They were doing some benchmarks during the presentation where they compared the i9 9900X, 9900K with the 2080 Ti against the brand new Navi with the top end Ryzen processor. Team Red won. It's hard to beat that. Granted, I don't know what the benchmark was. It could have been bunk. I don't know. But I really think Intel finally has a top tier desktop competitor. with a 4.6 gigahertz boost clock, I can't get past that. That's awesome. I can't stream some of my games on my 6700K, so anything is an upgrade. Yes, I do agree. Is that a 4-core processor? It's almost like if you're going to stream, you have to have 6 cores or more. And the 3700X would do that for you. But I would say the 3800X is the better deal. And then if you're just cool like me, get a Ryzen 9. So, cool. I'm glad all you guys are on stream. Slap that old follow button or even subscribe if you feel like helping me get to DreamHack next weekend. I'm going to be driving up to Dallas for this LAN party. It's going to be at the Dallas Convention Center. I'm going to be playing on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be streaming live. I'm going to have my little remote rig as well. So I want you guys to hop on stream and show me some support while I'm walking around the expo, going to different booths and stuff. You currently have an MSI 980. So that's like the 900 series. So I'd try and find a 1080 Ti if you could. That's just my opinion. Or a 1080. I love my 1080. Hard to beat a 1080. Whew. What a night. I'm amped. I'm jazzed. I'm so excited. Let's see how many clicks we got. I only got 74 clicks on my little picture from Lisa Sue. The shut up and take my money meme got 171 impressions on the Twitter. 178 engagements on my at Dr. Lisa Stew's Dr. Lisa Stew. Stop teasing us. Give us Ryzen 3. Let me give you all of that link real quick. Boom, 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 boom. A 1080 Ti, a better value than a 2080 Ti. If you can find it in stock. If you can't find it, the 1080 Ti is probably going to be pretty hard to buy. So, that's awesome. I love it, dude. It's a good day to be an AMD fanboy. What do y'all think? Do y'all have any questions? Any words of wisdom I can give you about the Ryzen 3000 series launch? I think you mentioned it earlier in stream. July is going to be a madhouse. Yep, a lot of stuff coming out with crypto kind of calming down. Yep. And supposedly crypto's starting to pick back up. I thought I'd read somewhere that there was another buying fest going on. Should I buy it right away or wait? If you're talking about the CPUs, you might want to wait. The GPUs, definitely wait. I would almost even recommend maybe going with the second generation of Ryzen processors because they've been proven to work. The motherboards are rock solid. Memory compatibility is good. Probably get them on sale. I think it'd be hard to look past a 2000 series Ryzen processor. And you might even be able to find like an 1800X for fairly cheap. The question is, will it be long-lived or will it die out faster than the rush? I hope it dies out. Because, you know, NVIDIA killed their 1000 series stock. They don't sell them anymore. And then, I don't know if AMD is going to keep pushing their RX 580s and 590s. I play on a 580 on my guest computer. I mean, that's a very good question. Ooh, fun fact. Talking to Navi. Remember, that's getting released in July. 1.5x performance per watt improvement. I don't think it's going to have HBM. It will. I think it won't have HBM2. So that might be cheaper. It might be running like GDDR6, maybe GDDR5X. Oh yeah, Radeon 7 looks so good now that you're on a 570. Yeah, it does look pretty cute. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're only playing in 1080p, you don't need that beastly of a card. I mean, I played on my 580 last night at the LAN party, and dialing down the settings to medium in DayZ, the game looked great. I thought it was awesome. But some people just need the best. I can use the strongest card out there, just can't afford it. Yeah, you're telling me, man. I'm hoping I can get some of this stuff sent to me for free. I hope so. And since I'm here in Austin, Texas, AMD's got a big old facility down south in South Austin. Depending on what Tom's does with me, I might drive down there and see if I can get myself one of these processors. That's what I did this last time. It worked out pretty good. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Ooh, there's been a child abduction alert. Hoo-wee. Oh, not much for gaming, more for rendering. Then yeah, you might even look into some of the Radeon workstation cards, like their WX line, I think is what it's called. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a 1080 Ti off of Newegg, just so y'all know. So, fun fact: during the stream, I was flaunting around cool pieces of hardware and stuff. This is a processor. It's not an Intel or an AMD processor. This is an IBM processor. Yeah. It's their last gen Power 8 processors. And fun fact, this is a dual chip module, a DCM. It's got 2 processor cores on it, similar to how the Ryzen 3000s work. Also, how do the Threadrippers and all that other stuff work. And I've got a whole tray of them. They were scrapping these at work, and we got them scrapped, and I took them. I forget what part number these are. But these are all engineering level processors. I am a hardware engineer by trade. I review motherboards for Tom's Hardware at Night. I also review memory, and I'm not doing it right now. Where would you buy GPU cards from? Amazon, Newegg. If you're going to look for a 1080 Ti, you probably want to check Craigslist or eBay. You might even try AliExpress. I've heard some good things about AliExpress. Uh-oh, I never thought I would say this. Give it to me, Ghost. Oh shit, I'm a terrible streamer. Shrimp, thank you for the follow. I am very delinquent. That was 7 minutes ago. I would agree. eBay has got the buying protection for the buyers now, so I like that. Yeah, and Craigslist, you're telling me. You gotta pay out the bottom. Oh yeah, my lightly used thingamajig, it runs just as good. Thanks, Corvus. Hope you have a good night, dude. Corsair announces new AMD PCI 4.0 series. What? Hold the phone. Where's the link? Can I paste it in here? Nope, shit. Let me... I want to open with... Check this out, Ghost. You'll love it. Alt print screen. Can I put it in here? Damn, I can't put it in there. I'll just share my screen real quick. Give me a second. Please stand by. Check this out. Holy cow. That is a Gen 4 NVMe drive from Corsair. MP600 Gen 4 PCI NVMe for 570 motherboards. That's honestly why I just bought the 570s for this workstation. I'm tired of reading Craigslist ads. Yeah, no joke. I never know what to look for on getting a used GPU on eBay. Yep. Ghost's a good guy, dude. You can always ping him. You can ping me too. I'm always available to help with that kind of stuff. But look at that, dude. That is a beastly heatsink on that thing. Wow. That's a Gen 4 NVMe, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Gen 4 is going to do for the world. Only problem is it won't fit anywhere. How do you install the thing? It's going to like run in. My Twitter is @theturk. I did a really good job branding my stuff. I'm @theturk on like everywhere except for Instagram. On Instagram, it's this chick. I don't even know who she is. It drives me nuts. Yep, exactly. This will interfere with GPUs. I don't know. It might be small enough. I don't know. But this was literally announced 38 minutes ago. I just checked my email. There's no pricing for it. Ghost. I can put ghosts on here. Ghost, if you don't mind, I'll slap it on there. Commands. Go into Nightbot. Oh, it's exclamation Twitter. There we go. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. I've got to wake up bright and early. My kiddos had a hell of a night tonight, so that'll be fun. I won't be streaming tomorrow night. I should be streaming on Tuesday. I thought I had exclamation point socials too, so now you know. But won't be streaming tomorrow night. I will be streaming Tuesday. Wednesday I can't stream because I'll be driving up to Dallas. Thursday night I probably won't stream because Friday I'm going to be at that LAN party, DreamHack Dallas. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. I promise you guys you won't miss it. Make sure you pay attention to the old Twitter feed, all that good stuff. Ghost, thanks for sticking with me tonight. Mr. Bearded Corvus, if you got any questions, hit me up on Twitter. Hit up Ghost as well. Anyone else on the stream, appreciate y'all hopping on. I hope you can help persuade my Tom's Hardware folks to let me keep doing Ryzen stuff. Yep, thanks again, Bearded, Ghost. Have a great night. Everyone else, take care. And we'll catch you on Tuesday. Bye-bye. Starting soon. Transition. Transition. I had to turn off Pretzel because of that thingamajig. We can turn it back up now.